Hey, good morning, guys. It is Guido coming at you with Coffee Talk. It is Sunday. I have coffee. We have tanks. This is the Mother's Day version of Coffee Talk.
Well, here we go. It's Pilgrim. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
We're gonna act like that was a delay and not your old age coming on right there.
I was trying to get the mug. I've got my miserable Monday mug look.
Oh, okay. I see. It's just like deer in the headlights. So, like, all right, over to you, Pilgrim.
We need to work this out. We need a script.
Pilgrim's like, is it Monday? I don't know what's going on over here.
That's why it's a miserable Monday mug look.
All right, let's hit this thing up. So it's Mother's Day here in America on Sunday. So I've got to get this sorted out before I have to take care of the wife, the mother of my children, which I believe is the appropriate thing to do. So we're going to knock this thing out. Let's see. What do we got? Channel news. I am safe and hunkered down. How about you? Are you... I know we're both still working, but is everybody healthy and happy over there across the pond?
Yeah, no, we're fine. We're both of us, House Joan and myself, are key workers, so we're out working, but we just keep the distance and keep the job going.
Yep. So keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I have restarted the 100 Battle Challenge. 100 Battle Challenge. So I've actually brought... I brought a couple tanks up to 100. I think you guys might have watched it on stream. I suffered through the Jagdtiger 8.8, and that was extremely painful. Wow. Yeah, so we got there on that. So I'm doing that. My next stream will be Monday. That's tomorrow from 4 to 6. 4 to 6 Central Time. That's stackup.org, which is a charity that I'm on their stream team. And then expect one on Wednesday morning. That's the plan right now from 9 to 12. Wednesday I think it's the 13th. Is that right, Pilgrim? Oh, no.
No, it's the 11th on Monday, 12th. 13th. Yeah,
13th for the Wednesday stream. So that'll be my next stream right there. And I want to remind you guys that I do have a code, which has an unfortunate name, and I feel like I probably should have not named it this, but mistakes were made. I named it Guido Grind. As young kid terminology goes in the States, that's not a great... it's not great. It's neither a good visual nor is it a good name. No. I guess we'll just leave it at that.
Well, no, you can't do that because that's now in my head, and I have to try and get rid of that. It's just crazy. You can't do that.
Yeah, but that cat's already out of the bag. I can't. You ever tried to put a cat back in a bag? They do not like that. No, they're all claws, teeth, and hissing. All right, let's move on. We got missions and specials, guys. Missions and specials. 10th anniversary is still going on. We are in a breather phase. I love that term, breather. It can't be pause, or it can't be... It has to, because you're just sprinting so hard in the 10th anniversary, doing your missions, that you take a knee, you kind of lean over, and you're taking a breather.
Or if you're my age, just sort of go...
How did that go? How did that go in the meeting room, right? They probably did it on a Zoom meeting. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe somebody said a different word, and the other guy took it as breather.
Yes.
I don't know.
They probably said a brief pause, or a brief...
That's right.
A brief halt. Or cessation, brief cessation. And they went, breather.
Yeah, okay. And the marketing guy's over there thinking, God, that guy breathes heavy. He's such a breather over there. And he's like, what did he just say? Take a breather? I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Okay, Road to Berlin. Let's go ahead and call up over here. I'm going to call up the main page. And we've got Road to Berlin, which goes to... As soon as I figure out how to rearrange my windows. A professional would edit this, but I'm not going to. As usual, you get it raw.
Yeah.
You get it in Guido grind. Oh my gosh.
No.
All right, 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Act 1 to May 18th. We're in the breather phase. Then that will start a new one. Although I just read it said the 17th, so I don't know if that means the 18th the new one starts or what's going on, but just keep that in mind. Road to Berlin goes to May 17th, and the Berlin map is open right now.
Yeah, cool map.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that when we get into the UI, but the bottom line here is you need a Tier 3 tank to go to the Berlin map, and that will accelerate your progress. To be quite honest, this is a relatively easy event to get to the last prize, which is the vents, and to especially get the second to last prize, which is a tier 7 heavy tank. I do have a review out on that. It is attached to my Road to Berlin review. At the back of it is the IS-2S review. I'm going to say that I think the jury's out on that, Pilgrim. You and I were talking about it. You did some research, so tell the folks what the screens do for you.
Right, okay, so I looked into the armor values of the bed springs, as it's been called, and it effectively stops high explosive and HESH dead. It doesn't allow any penetration whatsoever, and it just has the word bounce. When you look into the armor profile, it just has the word bounce against it.
Okay.
So because your effective armor from the side with those bed springs on is 95.3 effective armor, and 143.9 effective armor respectively, and in the front it's 105.
Right.
But so it's the increase is minimal when it comes to normal rounds, but it'll stop. Well, supposedly
here's what I don't know, and I guess somebody can probably tell us. I'm sure somebody in the community knows this and can put it in the comments, or maybe you know this, Pilgrim. On the spaced armor, when you shoot heat at it, does it always defeat heat, or is there a chance the heat gets through the spaced armor?
In World of Tanks, I don't know. In real life, it's a totally different thing. Obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But in World of Tanks, from what I can see, I've only done a little research, is that if it's spaced armor, it's supposed to stop heat. There should be no penetration.
Period. Dot. If you hit the spaced armor, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a heat round that's big enough that it doesn't care, or I don't know.
It may well be, because if you've got the 183, you're firing the heat round. You're firing high explosive. You do significant damage with the 183.
Well, doesn't the HESH do damage like HE, but just less anyway?
Yes.
It's a bit. The mechanics are slightly different than the heat.
Yeah. Well, it's high explosive squash head, isn't it? That's the terminology. High explosive. So basically, the head squashes in and causes blisters of metal coming out from on the inside.
Right.
But it shouldn't penetrate. That's the point.
Right.
In real life, what it does is create scabs coming off inside the turret, which flies around the turret, and basically like a blender.
Yeah, you really don't want to be in there.
Yeah, you don't want to be in there being blended, to be honest.
No. All right, so that's interesting. I think that's kind of the X factor on that tank. So it's people who aren't really paying attention will roll up with their heat or their HE and start shooting you if they don't try to work around the fencing. And you can see that. Actually, let me just remove the chrome there. I have that tank right there now in my garage. You can see that thing. And we'll move it around. There's the fencing that we talked about, or the mattress springs that are attached to it. So a little bit on the top. But the interesting ones, I think, are the ones on the front and the sides, really. Even the side of the turret, which is kind of unusual for spaced armor to be on a turret. Usually, the flat side of a turret is a great place to shoot. But this one has on a good portion of it anyway. And there's ways to work around it. You can see, obviously, the tumor's not covered and some of those kinds of things. I don't know. I'm just looking at the front of it. And with the fencing thing is on little posts. If you're looking at the tumor, there is a horizontal slice that has that piece of armor in it. So, I'm assuming you can hit those pixels and not go into the tumor because you've, I don't know. So there you go, guys.
It would take a bit of skill to get that, but it's a very small space, isn't it, looking at it?
And it just kind of depends on how it's modeled and all that good stuff. So we'll just throw that out. I don't know. It is a little slower than the other ones, the other ISs, as I talk about in my review. So it has some downsides, but we'll see. We'll see. It might turn out to be actually it's a kind of one-trick pony idea, but it could be interesting. You'd have to really look at all the other tier 7s, 8s, and 9s and how many of them are running around with big heat rounds that you might be able to work against right there. All right, so that's that. That's the IS-2, the Road to Berlin thing. Tank rewards, like I said, the 5th to the 30th. If you're in the U.S. and it is, and you're a veteran, and you've signed up for the ID me thing, then you've got a pretty good deal right there. Because it goes fast. I've already got my first reward on that, so it was easy peasy.
It's a shame they can't do that across. The whole thing. I mean, I'm not that worried about it, but because I'm in the UK, I can't. What's the word? I can't prove, if you like, to
Right.
wargaming than I'm ex-military. So
It would have to
and
be.
they haven't
Go ahead.
they haven't run the same thing for the EU accounts or the EU service, so they don't have a veterans.
Yeah, see, this is
thing,
a
so-
third party that runs this database
Oh, is it?
in the States, is my
Okay.
understanding. It's not. I'm not even. It might be government connected, but I don't think so. So, in the
There would have
States,
to be some way of verifying it, wouldn't they? They'd
well,
have to
we've got a lot of
verify
stuff
it,
that's
too.
like public records kind of
Sure.
stuff, and they can draw from some of that, and then you authorize them and show them the information, and they triangulate it and then show it to the
Okay.
company. So a lot of companies in the States that are going to use these, Lowe's, which is a big box house repair yard
Right.
place, hardware store, I guess.
Okay.
They for a long time had, and I think to be fair, the other big one too, Home Depot, they had discounts for servicemen, retired, active duty, and you'd show your card or whatever. Well, they streamline that through these kind of third party guys who vet everything, and then
Right.
all you have to do is give them a phone number. They put it in their system. It backlinks to the other guy's system and says, "Yeah, that guy gets the discount." So
No, that's cool.
until something like that starts rolling around in different countries, there's really
Yeah.
nothing they can do.
We've got a veterans card, which you do get discounts at various shops by producing the veterans cards, and you get issued the veterans card
There
by
you go.
applying for.
Yeah.
So similar sort of thing.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's see. We got that. Twitch Prime Starry Night is out, guys. Make sure if you have. Okay, let me go through the little rigmarole. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, but you have to link it and say yes, I want Amazon Prime, or sorry, Twitch Prime because I have Amazon Prime. So there are some clicks you have to go through, and then you will get, once you link your Twitch Prime to your World of Tanks account, you will then get all of these care packages for Twitch. And the newest one is Twitch Prime Starry Night. There's a low and a Scorpion G rental. Make sure you get out there as fast as possible and do poorly in your lows because I'm trying to pre-mark mine.
Yeah, I've still
may-
got mine on rental. I said I'd do that. I'd go out and just die quickly.
I may go for it because I'm kind of close. I'm about 91, 92%, and I've got up to
You've got the
94.
You've got the 100 battles on that already, then.
The low, I've got thousands on that stupid thing.
yeah.
I think that's my most played tank, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Not lately, not in the last 3 years, because it's the one I ground all the credits to buy all the tanks, since I have every
Right. Okay.
tank in my garage that you can get on the tech tree.
Yeah.
All right, so that's out. What else we got here, Pilgrim? We got there's more mastery missions. So wave 2 is out. Let's see what we got on that. Which ones are we doing now?
Oh, the
Wave
mastery.
2 has the Stuart, the ARL-44, the Type 58, and the Foch B. Yep, there you go. Those are codes, folks. So sorry, but that's how you have to do those.
We discussed this earlier on. I've actually clicked every single button I can find on the Wargaming website to activate every single mission that I can possibly enter. 75 separate missions with 6 dailies on top. I have no idea how or what. All I do is every battle I play, I win stuff. I don't have to do anything. I just go and
Yeah,
do a battle. I don't even know where it's coming from. It's just. It's
Does
great.
anybody even look at it anymore when you get your battle results? I know for me, unless there's a specific one I'm working on that I actually noticed, the vast majority of the time I go, there's that big list of stuff that
Yep.
you did, and I don't even look at
I
it.
don't even look at it unless I'm, as you say, unless I'm specifically looking for something. But I just know that I'm starting to rack up things like, small kits and first aid kits and fire extinguishers and gun laying drives.
Once you get established in the game, you should be buying large kits whenever they have the sales
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
stockpiling a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and then selling every small kit that you get just for some extra cash. That's when you get
Yeah.
established. There is a point when you're building up that you use those things, and that's good. But in fact, I just did someone's review, not a review, but a replay analysis, and they were a pretty good player trying to get better at the game, trying to work from being average to get to good to great. And I said, all right, this is the point at which I looked at his setup. I said, you got to start using large kits. The advantage that you get from a large kit, because the specific example was he got hit and tracked in and ammo racked, I think. So he had to choose. So he fixed the ammo rack, stayed tracked, and got hit again. Like, well, if you have a large kit, boom, they're all fixed, and you get
All
moving.
done. Yeah. I mean, Lower tiers, when you're in the lower tiers, it's not so important, I guess. But when you start to get from 6, 7 upwards, you need to start doing that.
Yeah.
And you're quite right. If you can grind out the credits and get, if you're sitting with 20 million credits, then when they have the sales on, go and buy 2 million, credits worth of kits. Why not?
And here's the beauty of it: when they're on sale for 50%, if you need to sell them back because you want to buy a tank, you've not lost anything.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Not.
So you buy them on sale
yeah.
at half, and because when you sell them back, you only get half back.
Yeah.
It's a wash.
Yeah.
It's less so on the 25%, which was the last one we had. So you do have to wait for a while. But like Pilgrim said, you throw millions at it. I have 300 or 400 of each one built up. And to be fair, you can get a lot in missions too. They do rack up in missions.
Just do what I've done. Click every mission button. You'll end up with lots of stuff.
That's right. I wonder how many actual mouse clicks that was.
Do you know what? I should have done the research and done.
I bet it was hundreds.
Obviously a lot. Yeah. It took me. I don't know. It took me 25 minutes to go through it all.
Yeah, like clicking OK and going back and refreshing the page, and then when you get into the UI, all the different pages and things you have to go to.
Yeah. I mean, I scroll down my missions list now. It goes on forever. It never stops. Like, when do we get to the other missions tab at the bottom?
All right, let's take a look. We're going to jump into the store here, Pilgrim.
Okay.
I'm in the featured over in NA. We've got a Turn It Up. The Offspring are back, so we talked about that last week. There's lots of different paint jobs and things. I have several of those. By the way, guys, when I'm streaming, if you're interested in a paint job, I have most of that stuff, so I can obviously dig it around and find it for you, no problem. Let's see. We've got the Object 268 is on track now, so we've got some on-track specials. The faster track and the faster, fast and faster. Okay. Where's fastest?
Well, yes, there you go. It's got to be a top end, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then fastester.
Fastester.
Fastester. 122S war chest. So the 122S is out. That's I don't know. That's an interesting tank. I believe that's the one that has. No, that is the ISU. I think that's the one that's.
You're going to say, isn't that the one they use on Road to Berlin?
It is, yeah.
Your tier 3 TD, isn't it?
Yeah. Cromwell B is out. In fact, Road to Berlin package is out. The Berlin bundle. Yeah. We've got it for $85 or $86 US, and that's Works 5 out. Tanks. Some 3D scans.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What's your Berlin bundle costing you?
£66, which is.
That's
probably if I go to Europe, it's if you want to know, it's slightly different. I think. Let's have a quick click. Slow today, this lot. Got it.
We've got while you're looking up that, we've got the Pretty Fly War Chest is up. The Wolves of Odin for the Lance and Sea, and we still have the Mutant M6 Mutant is still out there.
We don't have the Road to Berlin package.
Okay.
On Europe. Okay. No,
really?
Yeah, unless I can't find it.
The marketing's different. The marketing can be different between regions for sure. Because that's VE Day is a big deal in Europe. It's a way bigger deal.
Friday was a huge day.
Yeah, it's a way bigger deal in Europe than it is in the US. It's kind of interesting, actually.
Well, I've scrolled down and I've looked in featured and specials and can't see it. So unless it's been previous, maybe they offered it on Friday and they don't.
Right.
I don't know.
So over to the gold, not much going on there. We got the Go Quick Starter and Gotta Go Fast. Every couple of weeks I do mention that those are actually pretty good deals for somebody who just wants to try out the game. So you can take a long weekend, get your 3 days of premium for $5, a little bit of gold and some credits, and figure out. I would suggest that if someone was starting, they get a code like mine, Guido Grind. We'll just dig that back up. And get themselves a tier 5 premium, start the game, play for a week or two, grind up a little bit, because there are some free goodies in the original missions, in the beginning missions. You're going to get a tier 6 tank pretty quick. You're going to get a little bit of gold and some other things that come with those missions. So don't burn something like a quick starter kit early.
Yep.
Plus, if you do a code like mine, you're going to also get a little gold and some premium time. So play it a little bit. And then if you get to that mid-tier, that 5, 6, you're like, well, let me see what this is really about. Then come in and grab one of these starter kits for $5, $10 and play out a long weekend and go, hey, do I like this or not? That's kind of my recommendation there. For premium account stuff, not much going on there. Standard stuff. Get over to vehicles. There's something very interesting I just noticed, at least for NA in here, Pilgrim. I'm not going to... Here it is. So if I scroll down on the vehicles tab,
Yeah.
I get down to about mid-vehicle or so. I just noticed that they have packaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of them is actually a big package with multiple nations. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nations packaged with a bunch of tanks. So, for example, it says USA Force. It's $200 for 21 tanks. Do you have that?
I have got the Ultimate Tank package and the starter pack. So I've got the 46 and the 12 tanks, but I don't have that.
So those are still there too, but you'll see it on the video.
Yeah.
I have one that says USA Force, United Nations Shield. United Nations Shield, which looks like Skoda 34-3, WZ, Alpine Tiger, Type 62, and some other Lance and C, so kind of a grab bag. So we got that. So there's a US version. There's kind of the grab bag version.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's not showing on mine, but it is cool.
We got Rule Britannia that has 9 tanks in it. French Elegance, which has 9. Red Power, obviously Russian, maybe also Chinese, for 200. And Blitzkrieg, I'm assuming is German, or mostly German, for 199. So there's some interesting packages in there. Once again, going back to new players, you know, if you have a favorite nation, then you can do that. I don't know. I get that they're kind of packaging them by nations, but I don't know how many people really just come in and play one nation. You hear about it, but I don't know.
Well, we've spoke about this before. When I did the, I mean, you will probably know from the guys who did beta on the PC. But when I did the beta for the console, there was only German and Soviet, and then they brought the American in later on. So at some point, you only had a choice of 1 or 2 lines. So if you grinded that up to tier 10, and I guess I don't know, do people have a choice? I sort of went with American, then Soviet, then German.
I think they do. So I think that's valid. You know? They absolutely do when they start. They usually come in, I want to get to the Tiger. I want to do American tanks or Russian. I love Russian tanks, whatever. But I think once you start buying premiums and getting into the game, you really do spread out. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know if 20-odd tanks of the same nation are really what you want. But they're all premiums, you know. And if you are into the game...
Credit grinders, aren't they? So.
Yeah, and they're it's a big discount as it goes. So I don't know. I'm always curious how many of these big packages they sell. They'll never tell you. I'd love to know though. It would be very interesting to see if they keep showing up. They keep showing up, right?
I think also it's predominantly that sort of thing is an NA server thing, and I've had this conversation with some of the clan guys.
All right.
I think NA server probably per capita puts more money into the game, you know, per head. Than probably the other servers, because it's you know, disposable income, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, that's another question they'll never answer, but it does seem that way.
No, because we don't have that. I'm on the NA server now, in the shop, and I still don't have that package, and I don't have it on the EU server package either. Excuse me.
So that's interesting. It's been scrubbed from yours based on your location.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So it'll be an offer just for NA, which makes me think that they're targeting marketing guys do. They'll target their audience.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you guys are considered to have disposable income probably more than, you know, somebody in the Urals or somewhere. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, and I think the basis of that is true, and we do have that. Whether that translates to how they market, it makes common sense, but I don't think they've ever come out and said it.
No, I don't think they would say it as well.
Why would they? They don't. There's no reason for them to. So. No. Plus, then we can just speculate and make wild ass guesses about stuff.
Yeah, which is what this is all about.
Hey, this is fact based and science based tanking we're doing here, man.
Absolutely researched.
Yes. All right, on the specials, Berlin, turn it up. I think this is all the same stuff. I didn't really have anything new in here I wanted to add that looked good. They are still selling those coins. No further info on what else might be available for the anniversary coins. Like I said, I would hoard them if I were you.
Yeah.
until we figure out exactly what's going on. Because I very much doubt that the things that are for sale now will go away.
No.
I feel
And they're in game anyway. A lot of them you can get
Yeah.
for credits and stuff. So, why waste those coins on that?
and I feel like
Really?
something's gonna break free later for the anniversary, and it's gonna be cool. I hope.
Yeah.
Do not take that as Guido saying or acting like I have any inside information as a CC. I do not. I've asked the question, but I've been ignored, so it doesn't.
Do you get that a lot?
Yes, in multiple areas of my life.
Yeah. My house share just ignores everything that I ever say.
But we love our mothers, okay? Because it is Mother's
We
Day.
do.
All right,
We do.
let's get into the missions tab then on the UI and see what we got. How many things was it, Pilgrim, that you said? 70?
Well, I'm running 75 separate missions and with 6 dailies. The premium and
Yeah.
the other stuff. So yeah, 75 missions currently. I have no idea.
I'll tell you what's cool about it is I have built up a lot of bonds. I got down to very low bonds, like 2,000 or so, because I bought two of the bond tanks, the tier 10s, the
Right.
Patton M60 and the 121 Bravo.
Yeah.
And I'm already back to 11,000, so I feel like I'm getting close to when they reset it for another bond tank for 15,000. I'll be able to grab one. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, you've got the slot available now.
I know. Now that what he's referred to is now that I own every tank in the tech tree, I keep getting new slots. Right now I have 5 extra slots. So there's not a single tank I can get to fill them up with.
Nothing you can do with it.
I mean, that's a problem for about 0.01% of the player base, but there you go.
Yeah.
All right, anniversary is a weekend mission, which is the breather stuff, 20,000 damage to get yourself 20 more tickets. I am at, how many tickets do I have? I can't find out. I guess I have to go to the store. I think I'm around 500 tickets or so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm similar. 532, I think it is. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, it just rolls on. Sorry, 580.
Yeah,
so it just
I'm
rolls
somewhere
on.
similar to that. Road to Berlin has missions. Remember, okay, so what's interesting here is in pubs, you can get top 7, top 5, or top 3, and you can get some of these times. Oh, that's a times 15. I didn't realize that. I thought they were times 5s. Well, never mind.
No, you get.
Wow.
Yeah. You can, if you need to get to the tier 3, whichever class of tank you want to get to the Road to Berlin or all of them, it's quite easy because you get lots and lots and lots of these.
So wait a minute, what the heck?
Multipliers.
Wait, top 3, top 5, top 7, they all show a times 15 reward. How?
Yes.
What does that mean? You don't get a better reward for top 3, you get the same reward? What is going on with this?
Yeah, that is odd. Hang on.
Complete the launching the attack. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It looks like you have to start with the lower tier one.
Yes.
Okay, they must be in sequence.
Yeah.
So the first one you get to the top 7. If you do that one, then you are eligible to do the top 5.
Yeah.
You do that one, you're eligible to do the top. Okay, so it looks like 3 of those coins available per day. 24. Yes. Okay, so you can get 3 times 15s a day. So what's crazy about that to me, Pilgrim, is they have this big grindy extra event, but you have to go back to randoms to knock out the.
Yeah. I guess what they've done is they've looked at the data, and they've said whenever they have this sort of thing going on, that you also get a lot of public play anyway. So maybe they've combined the two, that everybody can join in. So if you just dip into Road to Berlin occasionally, you can still move yourself up quite reasonably because you're playing your public games or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they've looked at the data and gone, do you know what? Let's combine the two.
I don't know. It feels like a distraction to me. Like if they want you to grind, not want you. They offer the thing, you play it or you don't. But when it's tied across 2 different things like that, it drives me a little bit crazy.
Okay.
But there you go. That's just me, I guess. Tournament missions. I'm assuming people do those. I know a lot of people do tournaments. I should go do some of those 1v1s and stuff. I still haven't got into that. Heavy tank courses. Watts Salute is ongoing. The 268's on track to the May 20th. Light tank. No essay on what community hunting is still. I have no idea what that is. Any idea from you?
No, I've even looked into it, and I can't find anything on either server that suggests that it is a thing. I mean, it says from the 1st of April, so it's
To
been
December,
running.
yeah, through December
Yeah.
30 of 2025. So it's
I've never completed it yet. That's like, I wonder, I don't know. Is it not? Is it tied into the sheriffs?
I
I don't
assume
know.
so. It's some sort of sheriff event apparently, but
Yeah, yeah.
I mean they've set it to 2025. It's just
I've never completed that mission.
well, you
I've never
won't.
had a completed.
You and I
Well,
will be
because we
you
know
and I will be dead and buried by
I know,
2025, and
yeah.
that's a long time from now.
2025, yeah. Well,
All right,
my
starting.
last wish, my last parting breath will be: I need to complete that mission.
That's right. That's right. Starry Night Challenge. That comes with the Starry Night stuff, and I'm not going to complete it. The deal with this, I looked into this. Let's see. The first reward. So you get a ticket being in the top 10. You can do 10 of those every 24 hours. For example, I have done, as I drew the drop down, 37 of those total. So I needed 10 to do the first one. I needed, I think, 20 to do the second one. And speaking of clicking, you have to click all over the place to get this silly thing. And the third reward is just some, are these large? I believe they are. Automatic fire extinguishers, which is okay, and some experience personal reserve. So I need to play 3 times today and get in the top 10, and I'll trip the third reward, excuse me. The final reward is 20 times 5s experience for your tanks and 15 more large extinguishers, and I think it's 60. Yeah. So I'm not going to get 23 battles in today. There's no way that's happening.
Right.
But if you had some time to grind this weekend, it would have been 60 battles over the weekend in the top 10. No win requirement, which is nice. And you would have finished your Starry Night Challenge. There was multiple goodies there. On-track stuff, experience weekend bonus. That's all experience stuff. Looks like I've done some of it. Some of it is daily. So there's...
Yeah. There's Flowering Fields is a quick one to do. That's easy done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did that. I played,
Yeah.
I think, one
Yeah.
game today. Or 2
Yeah.
games. Oh, you can get a koala emblem.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice for the Australians, of course.
Oh, Flowering Fields gave you a decal, a mist
Yeah.
decal. If you want to put like a nice little painting on the side of your tank. Then there's some large kits available too. If you do 500 damage,
Yeah.
you can do 5 of those. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. There are lots of ways to get kits.
Yeah.
That really is just something you just play the game and you'll get most of those.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You play your game. If you've clicked all the activate buttons, just things
Yeah.
keep throwing itself at you. So it's not like they're not giving stuff away for nothing, is it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Medium tank courses, that's the medium tank stuff. Tank rewards, which is, remember, that's you get 100 just for playing that one battle. If you have the Watt Salute thing, I get 200. It makes it very easy for me. Otherwise, you probably need to play a couple of the other tiers to get the extra bits and bobs as far as your tickets go, tokens in this case. Because you want to get up to, we'll have to go look at it in the website, I'm not sure. In fact, we'll do that right after this because I want to talk about the rewards on that as well.
Yeah.
So that's going on, May Tank rewards, Tank Destroyer, and other missions. Whew.
Yeah.
All right, goodness gracious. Yeah, let's go back over to the main page. And we're going to, well, not the main page because you actually got to go to Tank Rewards. So go to Tank Rewards and let's talk about that. Remember, it's tankrewards.com, guys. So it's I had a game, I played a game years ago. I've talked about it a couple times, I think, over the years. It was called Darkwind. And it had it had a UI like we do here, but it also did a lot of its, because it was a persistent world with it was like Road Warrior. Basically, it was car combat, little cartoon cars, and you ran around. It was turn-based, which was good for slow guys like me. It was a very cool game, but a lot of the stuff, a lot of the management of your, they called it a gang, was on a web page. So it was this weird web page UI, like, compilation.
Isn't that odd? Isn't it?
It is.
It weird the way they do that.
Yeah, but this is sort of like that because the web page,
Yeah, it is.
there's a whole UI with missions and tracking.
Yeah.
But over here, you just, I don't know, bizarre. But anyway, seriously though, why, I don't understand it. Why is it like this?
I have no idea. It's almost as if they're sort of like outsourced it, but it's not outsourced because you have to put all your, your player gamer tag and your password in to get
It
into it. So
feels to
it's
me.
still,
It feels to
I
me
don't know.
like a workaround, Pilgrim. You know what I mean?
Oh, do you? Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
maybe they couldn't get people to do the UI, or they were calling back to Kiev and they couldn't get them. They didn't want to add just for NA a whole system inside the UI, so they said, okay, we'll show your missions, but as far as getting your rewards, that's not going to be pushed through the UI. That's
No,
going to be pushed from
it's slightly well irritating that you've got to go out and you've got to go out into another site to actually get your reward.
You know, I bet it is since Wild Ass.
automatic.
You know, I bet it is since Wild Ass guessing is in order, and that's what we do here.
That's what we do.
I bet you, because they can't get into the back end of the UI for pushing rewards from NA, that this is a workaround for them to have control over the content that comes out as a prize without going through Kiev and forcing it through the UI. I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I don't care. I'm going to act like I'm right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's your channel. You say what you want. Miserable Monday.
That's
It's
right.
Sunday.
It's Sunday. Okay, so I took the customization, the UK style, USA style, USSR, and all the other. And then I got some. Here's what was interesting about this. Now I'm reminded myself why I wanted to come here. When I got these characters or whatever, the skins, right? The crew skins. When I selected this, I got 50,000 in compensation. I wish I could remember the words. It said something like crew skins rejected or something like that. Then when I went when I went to the barracks, here's another thing I noticed. When I went to the barracks, let me drop this webpage view again. And I went to, actually, let's just call it up on a character here. Let's get out of that, because this is the only way I can figure out how to look at it. If I go to crew skins, so I call up one of my crew, I go to crew skins tab. I notice that it says apparently I can only have 3 of some of these things, and and 10 of others and such. I'm not really sure, but
Having a quick look now. Skins.
yeah. So I got, it says in storage 1 of 3, which means that I must have.
Yeah, 1 of 3. Yeah.
I'm guessing the others are on. I don't understand what this means.
Okay. There it is. There are. They've separated it up. In the historical tab. I've got a couple that you've got 1 of 3. The remainder is 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10.
So what does that mean?
Well,
It's, if you hover over it, it says in storage. For example, my George Patton says in storage 2 of 3, which I'm assuming I have 2
of the 3
of the 3 I can have.
you can have.
But when it says in storage, does that mean that's a guy I can use, or it's already on somebody?
No, if you've got it, if it's a 1 of 3, and for example, I put my pattern on the T30 as a command of T30, so it's used, so I can't. But I've only got 1 of 3. That's odd, isn't it? Because it's historical, non-historical. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So I just answered my question a little bit. I just added old Pavel Rybalko.
Yeah.
And if you are in the tank he's in, this is the IS-2 shielded for me. There's a little green check mark in the top right that lets you know that it's applied to that particular tank.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it says 1 of 3. So what if I
I tell you what, it's a rare skin. The others are common crew skins, so they've differentiated them, saying that like the Patton or the Josef Stebijek is rare skins.
So
here's
here's
the common.
Well, I get that, but here's the other thing. I took it off, and now it says 2 of 3. When I put it on, it says 1 of 3. So the number is how many you have in storage not used,
Right, which is available to you,
which I guess is limited. And then when I put it on the guy, now I have 1 of 3, which in my opinion, in my mind, makes me think I can get another 2 in storage. That's what I'm saying. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and thinking, well, I've put both of my rare historicals on tanks, and it still says 1 of 3, which means I've got 2 slots now. I can get 2 more.
Right.
In my mind, so I've got 2 more to get.
So that's my point. It was very I don't know, and it's further confused by what I was saying is that when I got this prize, then I got the notification in the bottom right that said I got 50,000 credits, 50,000 silver in credit compensation. And the wording made me think like that was, you can't have that many of that guy, so we just gave you the credits.
Did you not already have the guy?
Well, I don't know. I looked at it and I said, well, it appears to me that I had headroom to do it because a couple of the ones that said you got, Pavel, for example, Mikhail, George, I think I had slots available according to what I was looking at for each one of those guys. But I didn't get, but I got the credits. I don't know. It was weird. That's why I bring it up. It was very strange.
Okay.
All right, so
maybe somebody will be able to break that down.
Yeah.
And put it below that.
I guarantee someone in the community knows how that works. I just haven't messed with the characters very much. All right, so tier 2 is you've got the coated optics, gun laying drive. You can get all the different foods, or there's a styles pack, which actually only has one style. It's got the Ranger style.
Ranger style,
yeah. I think for me, because I have so many camos, I'm going to grab the coated optics and even though it's an enhanced gun laying drive, I can sell. I can sell it for 250.
Yeah.
I think that's for me where I am in the game. That's what's worth. I think some people who run a lot of food will love the food one because that's a bunch of food.
That's good. That's a ×5 of each one. So that's nothing to sniff your nose at, is it?
So all three of those are good, depending on what you like, right, in the game. So for the tier 3, it's pretty much blueprints and fragments. That does nothing for me. I'll be getting the premium consumables. That's a pretty good deal. You get 15 of each of those. But if you're grinding, holy cow, 30 universal or a bunch of the national ones, that's a good deal. Then we get to number 4 and a bunch of ×5s, 25 of them. That's pretty good. Or 3 garage slots if you're building your garage. There you go.
Yep.
I am probably going to end up taking the equipment, even though it's a toolbox. There's a large caliber gun rammer in there. You can sell both of those if you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will probably end up using the large caliber. I still have a few tanks to outfit. There are some days of premium in there, though. So if you're free to play, you may want to grab that.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't. I'd take the premium, but I can do without the garage slots, to be honest.
Yeah. Tier 5, interesting this time.
Nice.
There's a tier 7, a tier 6, and a tier 5 premium. Now, it's going to depend on whether you have one of those. So if you don't have one of those, you may go for the tier 5. If you have them all like I do, make sure you pick the tier 7 because it'll be worth more credits.
More, exactly, yeah. That's capitalist thinking, sir.
Oh, absolutely. And the last one is a 7 days Watt premium. So if you've got those tanks and just need some premium, that's the way to go. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover on that. All right, I think that's all the missions and specials that are out there. Pilgrim, let's move on to subjects du jour. All right, welcome back. I hope you guys liked that commercial. There was no commercial. There was, in fact, it just.
I just swallowed my tea wrong. Good grief. I thought you might have had Mocker on there.
Actually, we were just talking during the break. That's how they do it, right, on the big broadcast. During the break, we were just talking with so-and-so. You were saying that there was a video on the, what is it called? The Wargaming Center. You can download it and have all the games. That was an old man thing. We literally were just talking about the Wargaming Center, and neither one of us could come up with it. There was a video talking about development of the game. So what were you saying there? Well,
what they did, they had a small video on there. I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, and it was an interview with all the original developers. And it went from the very start of the game, how they got it together, why they got it together, and what they wanted to create. And it took it right the way through, and it was absolutely fascinating. Now it's now on the Wargaming Center now. So unless you can go to YouTube and dig it out and find it, it is well worth a watch because it gives you an insight into the mindset of the developers on what they wanted to create. And one of the things that come across for me is that they created the game because it was fun, because it was great to do. It was fun to develop. It was fun to play. And they can't get their heads around people going, well, actually, this bit of it's not very good. They go, what? No, it's great. No, it's not. And and it's so anyway. It is. If you can dig it out, and find it, watch it. It is about 11 of the developers all chatting, being interviewed. I mean, it's all in It's subtitled below,
Yeah.
so you have to see for English.
Well, to be fair, the entire package is very, very fun. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this.
Awesome. No,
But
exactly.
what Pilgrim's talking about, and I know he knows this, but obviously when you say this little segment's not fun, and then they come back and go, well, no, this whole thing is just fun, and that's fun,
Yeah.
and that's fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not fun to get pummeled by the Hummel. Pummeled by the Hummel. I just made a
Pummeled by the Hummel, yeah. Whacked by the wheelie.
Whacked by the wheelie. Yeah. Pummeled by the Hummel. Whacked by the wheelie. Specifically, the Hummel, though, I wanted to talk about in bloody Road to Berlin.
Road to Berlin is a nightmare with that.
Dude, if you're running the Black Prince, and you're going the speed of snail snot, and one or more of those things decides it's your time, it's just like boom, 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 boom. You're just getting absolutely whacked.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you take that back to Minsk and go, this is the problem, they go, well, no, we give you speed boosters, so it's okay.
Yeah,
you're faster. It's fine. What's the problem?
Or those stupid little circles that show up when you win a phase and you have to somehow get away from it. I'm like, what is the purpose of that?
I know.
I mean, I think the purpose is in case somebody finds a very
A
powerful
hold-down
position and they can force you out. But at the same time, you're forced to move anyway because you kind of have to move on. Or if you're on the defense, who cares if you're hiding behind? It's just kind of bizarre.
No, I mean, the counter, aren't they accurate as well? Really annoys me that the bots are very accurate. They can snapshot you and, and you're like,
that's
really?
compensation for being a bot. You know what I mean? If they had to use all the same mechanics we use, they'd have to add another 10, 20 bots because they'd be absolutely horrible. And that has another problem because you're just completely swarmed. It's tricky with AI on the numbers of them and how good they are based on your game engine. Can be tricky because you can get to impossible situations real quick. Was that video the one where they talked about they were making a elf game or something?
Yeah, it may well have been. Yeah,
I think so. At the beginning, they were developing another elf game, which I think when they started developing the whole Swords and Fantasy thing was big, and they were doing another
and then
derivative.
Came up with,
some derivative.
Somebody came up with the idea.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Some derivative game, and I remember the guy who told me about this first. I didn't actually get the game. I was playing that Darkwind game, and it's a very hardcore game. It's permadeath. And he goes, hey, if you like the hardcore PvP permadeath, I got a game for you. These guys in Russia, Byelorussian, wherever, are developing a tank game, and it's brutal because if you get shot and die, you die. You don't come back. There's no respawn. And, you're fighting, the Maus is fighting tigers and tier 5s, because initially that's what it was. And he goes, you love it. It's awesome. I didn't look into it until about a year later when it came out of beta and was finally released. I didn't play a lot of beta games back then. I do to some extent now, but back then, when they first started doing the release, the beta, that was just a shit show. It really was.
Well, because the mechanics are not right in the first place, are they?
It still is in the community, in the community, but it seems like now a lot of companies are releasing kind of beta plus games and letting their community kind of help develop them. Yeah. I got mixed feelings about that. I like it and don't, but anyway, that's what it is. So that's kind of how I came to World of Tanks, for that very reason.
Yeah, I think I used to do a lot of Tomb Raider, and original Tomb Raider there was no save points, so if she died, and it was so frustrating. But it made you play better. It made you stop and think and start to focus and concentrate because you'd have to go back to square one without the save points. Very much like World of Tanks. If you're dead, you've got to go back to the garage. So learn the game.
Get good, Nub. All right. Update 1.9.1 preview, which is on the main webpage as well. Berlin's going to be released. Oh, by the way, you can play Berlin right now. Like I mentioned earlier, if you got a tier 3 tank in Road to Berlin, you can play the Berlin map. My question about it is, the other maps had a lot of extra berms and things put in them. So it was Ruinberg and a couple of the maps. They had a lot of extra cover and things thrown in. I don't know if the Berlin map is the actual exact Berlin map. Plus, the way you play it is in a different order. You don't really know where the spawn points are. They probably have a video out showing that stuff. But you can at least kind of look around and say, all right, here's the Berlin map. Whether it has anything to do with how it plays, in a pub match, I have no idea, but it was pretty cool. So I played a couple of games on that. So 1.9 is bringing in new customization mechanics. It seems to be purely customization patch.
Yeah.
And I didn't dig into it too much, but there's projection decals, there's progressive customization decals, which it says this customization blah, blah, element will give you the chance to challenge yourself and let others know of your high battle effectiveness. They change appearance as you progress through certain objectives, such as accomplishing specific combat achievements in random battles using specific tanks. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, whether you put it on there and then missions show up, or it just tracks it in the background and changes the look of the style. That's very interesting.
Well, that's almost like MOE, isn't it? That's almost like it's a mark of excellence. So as you progress through, your camouflage changes. People recognise that you're progressed through whatever stage you're through. Interesting.
It's like the awards that you can attach to your name in the list of names. You know, I have the T55A, I have the 260, I have the 279 early, and a couple of other things.
Yeah.
So that's their tweakable styles.
Whatever that means. Available for gold.
Oh,
so they've got to be good.
God. Oh, I didn't notice that. Great. Okay, last but not least, new tweakable styles will be available for the meth users. No, just kidding. Available for gold in the game client with the release. These are custom looks that you can modify, remove, or add individually. So lots of options, I guess, on the styles and things. It does mention ranked battles and some changes that they're going to do to ranked battles. Support for displaying vehicle roles in your garage. All right, so there you go. 1.1, I guess, in the next couple weeks. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. So 1.9.1 preview, that is out. Yeah. Mid and low tier rebalance, guys. Check this out. So let's get over to Rita's blog, status report. And this I wanted to mention because it's apropos, for me anyway, as I'm playing the Crusader. There it is. And I just did a mini review on it. They've raised that tank to tier 6 as a light tank, light British. And I went, holy cow, this is a terrible, terrible tier 6 light tank. I mean, it is atrocious.
Yeah.
But they have heard our cries, sort of, or as much as they hear our cries. Increased speed from 50 to 58. Cool. So now it's going to get around it. It really is sluggish right now. It's going to be able to use a vertical stabilizer. Okay, whatever. The big deal, I think it needs a little bit more than this. The view range was increased from 360 to 370 with the second turret.
Right.
So that's good.
Right.
And that's not very much, but okay, it's 10 more than it was. And the Top Gun, which is the one you want to use, I think the howitzer is the little derp. So I don't recommend that.
I wouldn't have that on a light tank anyway, would you? You wouldn't want to scout with a derp.
And so the fourth gun, the 6-pounder, is going to be the aiming circle from 3.5 to 2 after shooting. So I don't know if you noticed on my replay, impressive. But it just gets really giant. So it's much smaller, which means it will take less time because it started from a smaller circle. Although the aim time is also faster from 221 to 192, and the accuracy from 0.39 to 3.5. So that's going to go a long ways towards helping that tank. Faster. What's
the camo rating? Any change in the camo rating? It carries its camo now, doesn't it?
It does, it carries it. It doesn't mention that, or I missed it. I don't think there's any camo added.
Okay.
It's fairly big for a light tank, so I don't think it has great camo.
No.
It's not going to turn it into It's not going to turn it into a Type 64, but
no.
It will help it greatly.
It's usable. You want it to be usable, don't you? That's the thing.
Just being faster and being able to actually hit something would be amazing for that tank. Okay, so the Covenator, whatever, it gets an upgrade. The Cavalier, interesting, just came out. So the Cavalier is being upgraded. Oh, look at this. It's going from 40 to 46 kilometers an hour.
Well.
Holy cow.
Wow. Yeah.
Because it was sluggish,
Yeah.
It's supposed to be kind of the.
What's the power to weight ratio? That's the big difference. I mean, top speed is fine, but it's how it gets there.
The engine power increased from 410 to 450.
Yeah.
So which gave it a better specific power, which translated to 46 kilometers from 40.
So it's going to get there quicker.
Yep, and it looks like some other gun buffs along the way. So Cavalier, I mean, it just came out and it's being buffed already.
Yeah,
That's
crazy, isn't it?
Wait a minute, hold on.
Yes, hang on.
Hold the phone.
Yeah.
Didn't we just get lectured about how long it takes them to go through the process?
6 months.
6 months?
Three months or 6 months?
3 to 6
Yeah,
months.
3 months. Yeah.
We do not want to do any changes without fact-based.
Data. We're going to get ripped for this because there will be certain sections who'll go, well, you don't understand how coding works. And
You know what,
understand how
Pilgrim? Here's the
coding
deal
works.
for me. I am an honesty guy. I am up in their rear end about this,
Yeah.
and I don't care if they just said, you know what? Sometimes we go faster, sometimes we go slower. That's not a great answer, but at least it's honest. But
that's
to
it.
present this front of, well, there's a process and that's the process we follow, and then clearly they don't.
No,
So don't blow sunshine up my arse.
no, exactly that. I mean, if they can do it, they can do it. It's as simple as that.
I mean,
Whether they want to do it is a different matter, isn't it?
Yes, that I will accept that. Yeah, that is exactly right, and that's what it boils down to, and that's always what it boils down to. But my problem with it is the constant. Well, this is the way it's done. That's why we didn't change it. Look, the reason you didn't change the 268 V4 is I don't know what my opinion is. It was somebody's pet project,
Yeah.
and they just stopped you. Clearly, you're not going to. That will not be a player-facing thing that you would say. But what you could say is, look, we work on stuff. Sometimes it gets done fast. Sometimes it gets done slow. We are working on the process, and that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm more than happy if they turn around and said, look, it's not going to change. Basically, suck it up, buttercup. It's not going to change.
Right.
Well, fine. That's great. That's honesty. But don't tell me it's this because of this. Just tell me it's not going to change. I'll get on with
Especially
it.
when there's examples like this where clearly that
Yeah,
whole process was not
exactly.
followed in any way, shape, or form. They buffed something very quickly that needed a buff. And maybe it's a case of they will buff stuff quickly, but they won't nerf it quickly. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they've had all that nonsense before, didn't they? When they started to nerf things that people had actually paid real money for and things like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the history to it, but they can do without the negativity behind all that, I guess.
Because the Crusader's the same idea. It was a tank that was changed in tier, so it was essentially a new tank, and it was just changed, and now it's being buffed pretty immediately, and it clearly needed it. So that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
When you release a clearly overpowered tank, can we buff it quickly so it doesn't poo all over the game?
Or nerf it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you know what? And the thing is with that is you would think that knowing what the Crusader is, to take it into tier 6, they would have done the background to it and made it already.
Yeah.
Without having to buff it,
Well, they did buff it. It just was pretty bad as a tier 6 scout. I don't know if this is really going to make it the best tier 6 scout, but it can't hurt. I mean, it's definitely a buff.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of videos, actually going back to that, I wanted to mention something for you guys. For you Sophie Line fans, she has a great video out, and I don't know if it's new. I think it is. But she did an interview. Where'd she get that idea? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Sophie. Just kidding. She did an interview. She's got great connections. She did an interview with a Tiger tank expert, PhD guy. Does work with the U.S. Army. Actually, was in the Brit Army for a while as well, so he's served in both. Was a tanker.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a air assault, I think, with you guys, and a tanker of some kind or some
Amazing
connection. Yeah. Anyway, he's definitely an expert on tanks and tank warfare, military historian, and all that good stuff. And she has a great video on them talking about the Tiger tank and dispelling a lot of the myths, and I thought it was fantastic. Because you get all these arguments, it was the greatest tank in the World War, it was the worst tank. They really break it down and dispel kind of both sides of that argument and talk about a weapon system and how it actually was used in a war and what it did. So I highly recommend it. It's a great video to check out.
I think a lot of the German tanks, from my understanding, were over-engineered. It's good old German engineering, isn't it? So They had a problem with him breaking down. They had a problem with the complexity of the machines and
So
so
you
on
need
and
to
so
watch the video. You need to watch the
Yeah.
video because he dispels a lot of that. And he makes some very good points. I won't necessarily say dispels it, but he does. He puts it in context. He puts those ideas in the context that I think they should be in, and it's interesting. Just that one example of engineering as somehow that's a bad thing.
Right.
That's a fascinating one because he does talk about it because it's interesting that in the case of the German tanks, one of the big arguments is that they were over engineered. They were too well built. And if you think about that from a logical standpoint, the idea being that in wartime you need something simpler that doesn't break down. But
Yeah.
if it's so well engineered, it probably doesn't really break that much.
No.
So,
No.
and he talked a lot about why it seemed like they broke a lot. Anyway,
Okay.
I will leave it up to the video.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well worth watching.
Yeah, I'm not saying it proves or disproves everything, in a final manner, but it will make you think about it, and that's what I like about stuff like that. It will make you think about it from a different angle, which
Yeah.
I think is cool. One of the coolest points, and I'll leave it at this, that he brought up is one of the largest, how do you put it, indicators of reliability in an armored vehicle is the power of the engine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because it flows
makes
from
sense.
there, right?
Yeah.
The stress on
Yeah.
the systems, the engine itself,
Yeah.
and the power and how well it is cooled and operates. And
Yeah.
you think about it, you go, well, that makes a lot of sense. If I have an engine that's just, I need this much capability,
Yeah.
and it just barely is able to move the tank.
Yeah.
Or if I
Yeah.
go, hey, this is what the tank needs, and I have this much power, well,
Yeah.
it's going to move
Yeah.
that thing around no problem.
Of course, and the thing is, no tank is a light thing. They're tons and tons and tons. They weigh heavy, so an engine is straining all the time. So it makes sense. Cool.
I don't know. So check it out, guys. It's something to think about. You got to also go to the Crossley armored car video, which I can't. Oh, here we go. Tank Chats 102 from the Tank Museum. The Tank Museum, and we've got our friend. Here he is with the mustache that ate the world. You got to love it,
Mr. Fletcher. Love him to
Mr.
bits.
Fletcher. And I like the title on it is Incomprehensible System. So the Crossley Iron Car, I'm not going to go through it, but the Crossley Armored Car was a vehicle they made 5 examples of. And the best part is when he gets in the video and he talks about they sent them to Egypt, at which point they promptly sank into the sand. So it was what he called a 4x6. There were 2 wheels in the back and a steering wheel in the front, and the 2 wheels in the back were all powered. So while it was technically 4-wheel drive, they were in the back and the front.
Right.
So when it got into the sand, of course, that heavy back end went. Brr.
Just dug in like that.
Yeah, so regular
Yeah.
4-wheel drives didn't have a problem, but since there was no drive wheel on the front of the vehicle, the heavy back end just sank
And
down.
it couldn't pull it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Maybe we need that in World of Tanks on the wheelies. Maybe they redesign it so it's just back wheel driven.
Yeah.
We can get them into Sand River and just bury them.
Yeah, any sand map, they just sink down and sit there.
Yeah,
that'd be-
absolutely. Yeah, that'd be fun. Oh, look, a static target. I think we'll take that one out then.
But it's great. The quotes, it's an incomprehensible system. And then he's talking about the radiators got some vented armor. So obviously opened up so air could get into it. But if you get to combat, they could close it so bullets wouldn't come straight into the radiator and the engine right there. And he says, so you can close it if anyone is so unkind as to fire at you.
Yeah. I love that guy, I tell you. He's a star.
The turn of phrase is fantastic, man. Good stuff. So there's that. Check out the Crossley armored car. We talked about the mid and low tier rebalance, and we got a 1.9.1 preview, and that's pretty much it from my side on the official stuff. What else you got there, Pilgrim?
Well, I've got a couple of things. If you don't mind, Guido,
Okay.
I'd like to shill.
Please, Shill.
Well, this is a fine china mug, and it's got all the relevant stuff that you need to have on a mug from Guido and all.
Yeah.
So, guys, get your hands in your pockets and go buy it. It's marvelous. It's got tea in this, not coffee. So it's a tea mug, but you can use it for coffee if you wish. Brilliant.
Just for everybody out there, I actually reduced all the prices on that. I reduced down to pretty much zero profit just to make them a little more affordable. So
Yeah.
check it out. If you have any ideas for designs, let me know, man.
That as well.
Yeah, 1212 Gaming, baby.
T-shirts in olive green for those who like military clothing.
Exactly. Hey, so I sent my partner in the gaming company who does all the programming stuff. I sent him a shirt, and I was on the Teespring website clicking away, and I did not notice that I sent him a small. So you got this tiny little.
Was it a crop top?
Oh yeah.
Was he like Beyonce? Was it Beyonce dancing?
Yeah, we do a weekly meeting. He picks it up. He's holding this shirt, for Barbie. He's like, "Hey, did you send me that?" I'm like, "Oh."
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So there's the shield done. Go and buy Guido's kit. It's awesome. Yeah. I wear mine walking around the house all day long. It's fine.
See, that's getting back to Guido grind. Let's just leave that out.
No.
All right,
my house general says, "Oh, it's Guido time, is it?" On a Sunday. So we're doing Guido time.
Okay.
There we are.
Fantastic.
I've got another little thing. If you can bear with me.
Yeah.
How about a competition for our community, or for your community, should I say? I should have got it ours. A little competition.
Sounds good.
Do you like that idea?
Yeah. Let's have a competition. Who wants to win a tank or something? Does that sound good? Yeah.
Well, this is my thoughts, and maybe you want to expand on it. But a competition where the community submit to you tier 7 and only tier 7 battles.
Okay.
Now the thinking behind this is that I'm pretty sure that tier 7 has now either had a beneficial effect of the HP increase of the lower tiers, because your tier 7 will see tier 6, and we'll see, So I think, this is not a scientific study, but it's just a feeling. And whether guys want to go out there, submit a tier 7 replay to you, just to give us a feeling of what sort of damage levels have been now being picked up by tier 7 tanks.
Okay, yeah.
Between the two of us, we can do that. And all the names of those who submit a replay to you at tier 7 go into a hat. It's drawn live, maybe on Coffee Corp Talk, and the winner receives a free premium tank of his or her choice. And then on top of that, what I will do is I will donate $50 to the charity of the winner's choice and $50 to Stack Up. Does that sound good?
Sounds beautiful, man. Sounds beautiful. All right, guys. Yeah, so tier 7. I guess since we're going to do out of the hat, I was going to say something like more points for playing something other than, say, a 1357 GF. But
yeah,
I will be more interested. Let me put it this way. As far as using content, I will be way more interested in your good game in the Type 5 Chi-Ri than I will in your 1357 GF. Let's just put it that way. Or maybe such as what I have on my screen here, the Black Prince. Epic Black Prince games will have a higher chance of making it on the channel. All right. Clearly, if you want to rage in your 1357 GF and throw me a good game, I'll obviously like that. Your name will go in that. But if you play the setter, let's see. But just click that. What about that little bad boy, huh? You have an epic setter game. Come on, you're getting on the channel. That's all I have to say.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see tanks. You do this tanks not really played a lot thing.
Yeah.
Video. And it is nice to see that you can have a good game in sometimes tanks that are classed as a non-starter, and then people go and have a blinding game. You think, wow, that was something else. Are we going to give a time frame for the competition then, Guido?
No, it'll be arbitrary and capricious.
Okay, we'll close it as whenever.
I mean, it may have already ended minutes ago. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody already submitted.
Right, it's over. It's over. Yeah, let's do it to the end of the month.
Okay. Cool.
So we'll just call it the 31st, guys. Okay, the end of May, last day of May, 31st. So on the 1st, well, actually, there's a 31st to Sunday. All right, we're going to be tricky. We're going to call it the 31st. Let's do that. And then the next Sunday, we'll announce it. That way we don't have to flail around trying to figure out who won one day later.
Yep.
Cool. So it'll be a tier 8 or lower. I mean, if you want a tier 5 or 6
tier
premium,
7.
That's up to you. But
tier 7, right?
Yeah.
Tier 7.
Well, yeah, for the contest, but for the prize, it'll be any tier 8 or less if you want something less than a tier 8.
Yeah.
One tank, tier 8 or lower premium. That's in the shop. I can't get you anything that's not in the shop.
No, nothing special.
So it has to be in the shop.
Yeah, and of course the $50 to a chosen charity and $50 to the Stack Up. If the winner wants to put it to Stack Up, I'll put the $100 into Stack Up. So that's
cool. That'll be fantastic. All right, excellent. I love it. I love it. All right, what else, man? I think we're just about to the end here. If we drag it out. Did you have any more quotes or?
Well, I've got. If you really want them.
Well, hold on. I want it. That's right. We need to hear the penguin story, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, penguins. Right. Okay. Well, in the Falklands, being sort of very close to the Antarctic, as you probably know, there's a lot of penguins. Now, when the Falklands War finished and the Argentinians left after being asked politely by us British to leave, which was nice of them.
They were so unkind as to shoot at you, though.
Yes, exactly. Stop shooting at us. We're only asking you to leave nicely. They left an awful lot of landmines. In fact, I've got 2 stories about landmines, but anyway, and a lot of them were on the beaches. What beaches there are in the Falklands. So over time, the sand shifts, and so the mines shift, and over time, the springs on the mines weaken. Now, what we did is we barbed wired off the whole of the areas that were mined to stop people getting onto them.
Did that in Kuwait too?
Yeah, no, exactly that. Yeah, the same as.
Yeah.
So until a such point, we could get them cleared. I mean,
Right.
not all of them were cleared and so on. But I was down there in '86, so it was after the war. So I was down there in '86, and we used to get 1 day off a week, R&R if you like. You know, you do your
To go look for mines?
To go look for mines. Yeah, your day off, you could go poke around in the sand. No, we used to take a wander down to the beaches and watch the penguins. I am probably one of the few people who've seen penguins fly. Amazing, because the springs on the mines weakened.
Oh God!
The weight of a penguin. Yeah, flying penguins. So. Well, here's the other mine story if you want. Okay.
Oh Lord!
If you want it very quickly,
right.
You're very lucky to have me still here.
Oh, good.
Well, one of the days off, they had welfare motorbikes down there where you could go and get a motorbike and go and do the battlefield tour and so on. Whatever you wanted to do, you can just jump on it. So I got one of these on my Sunday off and rode off to Mount Kent to go and have a look at Mount Kent, which overlooks Stanley. Got to a gate, opened the gate, rode through, closed the gate behind me because I'm very concerned about livestock escaping and everything. Gets down the track about halfway through this field and looked around and noticed that the fence line was surrounding me, had minefield signs on it facing outwards.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to push a motorcycle backwards along the same track?
The exact same track? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did.
Knowing that your feet are touching the ground where it didn't touch on the way in.
I could have been that penguin.
Oh, man.
So I was like, why didn't you signpost the gate? What's that all about?
So we still don't know if pilgrims can fly then.
Penguins can fly, yes.
No, pilgrims. We're not certain that pilgrims.
Pilgrims. You've had the story about.
Well, yeah, that's true. You do fly. Yeah. That's more falling. You can fall.
I can fall. Yeah, I can fall. I don't know if I can go up. I've never tried going up on my own or with explosive assistance, perhaps.
Well, all right. On that note of penguins flying and various Falklands shenanigans, we're gonna call an end to the. We're gonna call the time of death of this one. All right. This is Guido signing out, guys. We'll see you next week on Coffee Talk. Pilgrims, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye to the people.